Why do I keep on drinking? Welcome to Sober Living Snippets, where we live alcohol-free so we can heal our relationships, feel youthful again, and ditch regret and shame. Today is the 9th snippet of Christmas. The 9th snippet of Christmas. Oh, wait, I promised I would never sing again. I do apologize. Before we get going, I would love to welcome any new listeners. Hello and welcome to the Snippets, my loves. I'm Becca, and I bring you a weekday snippet to keep you on the path of sobriety or to sobriety. It is so much fun, and my goal is to inspire you and motivate you, and if I can, even teach you something new and help you see a new direction in your life, because there is nothing like going alcohol-free when you're 40 plus. I'm telling you, nothing like it. There's a whole new universe to be explored. So welcome and thank you for joining us. Gals, on the 9th snippet of Christmas, I want to point out that if we have unresolved issues from the past, they're stealing our lives. Unresolved issues from the past are stealing today and tomorrow and the day after and yesterday. If we have unresolved issues from the past, whether it's shame or remorse or resentment, we are not fully living. And in fact, it's a good bet that that's why we're drinking. How do we deal with unresolved issues from the past? Well, we could go do talk therapy. I tried that. I think over the years, I probably had, a good 10 different therapists, some of them drug and alcohol therapists, some of them addictions, some of them whatever, right? And I just talk. That's what I did. I talk about the past. And I am not here to say that that won't work for some people, or there must be a value in it because it's been around a long time. But there are other ways to resolve the past. And I'm not actually convinced that everyone needs talk therapy. If you're getting talk therapy, that's fine. I am not suggesting not to do it. I'm suggesting there are other ways to resolve issues from the past. For example, after all those counselors, I finally resolved my past, totally surprised myself. I didn't plan it, it just happened. But when I look in retrospect, I believe that the reason my issues from the past finally got resolved was because of answered prayers. So let me tell you the story a little bit. I had done all this talk therapy, since I had my first counselor in my 20s. So 30 years worth, right? And it didn't matter. I still hated myself. I could not believe that I had done the things in my youth that I had done. If you don't know me, I have a book called Prostitute to Professor. And yes, I was a prostitute for 13 years, from the age of 18 to 32. Sorry, that's 14 years. And so I had a lot of things to regret, and I thought, well, I'm going to talk these things out. And I was under the impression that it would be years of therapy, years and years it would take. And I never stuck with one therapist very long. I'd get tired of it and go back to my drinking. And, it was just a big mess, right? Then I started praying, and I started renewing my relationship to a God that I could relate to, a God that made sense to me. And then I learned meditation. And then I learned meditation combined with prayer. And I prayed some more. And I learned how to let go of thinking about the past and instead open my heart in faith that there is a way for me to feel okay about myself. Now, it didn't really change anything, but I just kept meditation and prayer and journaling in my life. Eventually, I ended up getting a coach and involved with a small group of women who were on the same path of meditation, prayer, journaling. And then, in 2020, I sat down and I undertook the process of journaling in a completely different way. And what I did was I decided the stories from my life that haunt me the most, I've never even really allowed myself to feel every moment of those stories or relive every moment of those stories. Even in talk therapy, I held back. And so I said to myself, I'm going to write them down. I'm going to write down that story in detail and see what happens. And I went on this 1-year journey. One story led to another story, led to another story. And by story, I just mean an episode from my life that was bugging me, right? Remember that time this happened? Okay, let me write down the details of that. At the end of it, I had 13 stories. Long story short, I ended up putting those together into a memoir and publishing the book. But my point here is that after I had written those stories, I suddenly realized that all of it looked different. I had forgiven not only myself, but my mother, my dad, my sister. Like, this whole year-long process of writing my story healed me. And what is my suggestion to you? No, I am not suggesting write your story. That might be appropriate. I believe at this point that it was an answered prayer. I really do. I was just praying for relief. Please let me feel better about myself, because I didn't feel good about myself. And that was my prayer. During meditation, during prayer, journaling, it was just like, help me to feel better about myself. I'm tired of feeling like crap about myself. I'm tired of hating myself. I think that's how prayers are answered. We don't realize that it's an answered prayer until afterwards, and sometimes we don't realize it ever. But I believe that the urge to suddenly write everything, where'd that come from? I had never had that urge before. I started writing and I couldn't stop. Months went by and I just kept writing. I believe that urge came from somewhere outside of me, an answered prayer, knowing that that would help me to heal. And it did. What is the snippet today? What is the story? You know me, I do tend to go in odd directions, but I am on track. The snippet today is unresolved issues from the past steal our lives. And whatever your path to resolving them, I'm here to urge you to find the way to resolve your past issues, because it needs to be done. Whether it's writing, journaling, praying, meditating, talk therapy, small group coaching, resolving the issues from the past will allow you to live your life today. Because if they're unresolved, you're not living as fully and as happily and as freely as you could be. And in all likelihood, you're trying to drink away these unresolved feelings. And that, my loves, is why I coach women in small groups, because that's what we do. We resolve issues from the past. We create new, beautiful, ideal identities and grow into them and become completely transformed. It is such an amazing process and such a joyous existence to be helping women like you, working with women like you. I just know that this is also a gift from above for me to be able to live this life as I go into my 6th decade on the planet. What a privilege. Listen, gals, that's the 9th snippet of Christmas. How does it relate to Christmas? Oh, come on. You can see that, can't you? If you're having unresolved issues from the past, Christmas or no Christmas, you're not living today, and you're probably drinking because of it. So don't try to undertake it now. After all, it is Christmas and there's a lot going on. But here's something for you to think about right afterwards as you consider your new year. Consider making 2025 the best year of your life. I'll be talking to you more about that because I am taking you through 31 days in January. So if you haven't quit yet, stick around, gals. I've got juicy January coming up, and it's going to be amazing. Meanwhile, come back tomorrow for the 8th snippet of Christmas, and I will keep you motivated and inspired, and I will keep right on sending you love. See you tomorrow. Thanks for popping in. Be sure to come back tomorrow so we can keep your head on straight. Sending you buckets of love.